The first step is to take all the pieces out of the dragon box. So you just want to put it somewhere nice and flat and open up the box. Okay, I've taken all the bubble wrap off the poles, and here we have pole A, B, C. A is the black pole, B is the pole of the spike that is going to be going into the ground, and C is the one with the lotus flower on the top. So now what we're going to be doing is taking pole B and getting it nice and secure, and then pole A is going to be inserting into pole B, and we have these little silver buttons that are going to pop out of these little holes. So I'm just going to get it nice and lined up and push it in. Now we're going to take part C with the lotus, and we're just going to put that right on top of the black pole. Now that we've got the pole assembled, we're actually going to choose a spot outside, and you're going to need a spirit level for this step because we want the pole to be extremely upright. This is going to help the dragon catch the wind and spin really well. Don't worry if you don't have a spirit level. You can just download a spirit level app on your phone, either on the App Store or the Google Play Store. They're free to download and they work just as well. Okay, so let's head outside. Okay, so I've chosen a nice shady spot in my garden, and I've got my spirit level, which I'm just going to place against the dragon pole. I'm just going to check the spirit level to make sure that the pole is completely upright. And once I've got that, I'm just going to use my foot to push the dragon in. I'll go halfway and then just check it again. Check it from different sides. That's looking good, so I'm going to push the dragon all the way down now. Once the dragon pole's in the ground, if you notice that it's a little bit off and it needs to go a certain way, you can just give it a gentle but firm yank in that direction. That'll get it going good. Now we're going to assemble the dragon head. So we're just going to open up this red box. And inside you'll find the dragon head. You can just carefully pull it out. You can remove the bubble wrap. And inside you're also going to find a clear rod, which we're going to need for this step too. Okay, so we're just going to turn the dragon around. On the left side you can see this black little pole, and then on the right side there's this little hole. And what we're going to be doing is putting this rod through this hole and making sure that it also goes through the holes in the dragon fan pieces. So I'll do that now. We're going to clip the end of this rod onto the black pole, and we want to push it on firmly until you hear it click. I've just taken these pieces out of the second box. I'll put this to the side. What we have here is 3 metal bells, a bag that contains 1 bearing, which is in 3 parts, and 2 little pins. We'll be using these later. And here we have a stack of dragon body piece panels. On the very top is the dragon's tail. You can tell it's the tail because of this piece, which is attached. We also have a little super glue that we'll be using later. Let's put the tail piece to the side and start with the body panels. Pick one up, turn it over, and then collect one of the bells, which you can see has this little ring. Just simply put that over the rod and slide that down. And now what we're going to do is take the body panel and roll it into a cone. You can see that there's Velcro here and here, and you just want to connect those, line them up, and then push them down firmly. Give it a real good push so that it's nice and connected. And here we have one of our first body panels. You can flip the mane over and just push it back the other way. This means it's going to sit a bit more upright and catch that wind and give a bit of movement. Let's repeat that process by putting the other 2 bells on other body panel pieces, sliding over, folding into a cone shape, making sure that rod goes in the middle there, line up the Velcro, give it a real good push, make sure it's really, really secure, fold over that fan, the main. There we go, done. Repeat for the last one too. Now what we're going to do is repeat that process for all of the body panel pieces. Let's assemble the tail piece. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is it has this piece on the back, which we want to be facing out the back way. So you can see the orientation here. We're going to be folding this over into a cone shape. Line up the Velcro and give it a really good push. Open up that mane just by pushing it back and giving it a little hand iron. And here we go, you can see that this is the tail, this piece is coming out the back. And now we're ready to move on to the next step. Now that we've got those pieces assembled, we're going to be heading outside to the pole. So just collect everything, I've put it back in the box. You're going to need this little bag with the bearing and the pins in it, and also your dragon head. For this step, we're going to be inserting the dragon head into the top gold tube. You're going to need the dragon head, but also one of the little pins that's in the little clear plastic bag. We're going to take the clear rod from the dragon head, insert it right here into this gold pole at the very top, and then we're going to line up the hole that's on the dragon clear rod and this little hole in the gold thing and pop the pin through. The next step is to insert the dragon body panels into the other gold tubes. You want to start at the top and work your way down. So the next one under the head one, got a body panel, and I'm just going to insert it right here into this gold tube. We've got the last piece here, which is the tail piece. This one also is going to use a little pin, so get that out of the bag. Just going to insert it like all the other ones. And line up the pin with the hole and insert it in. We're going to be super gluing in the body panel pieces. Because the head piece and the tail piece have a pin, you're not going to need to super glue them. What you're going to do is just pull this clear rod out just a touch. You don't want it to come out of the gold thing. Just pull it out by a few millimeters, put a dab of super glue here, push it back in. We're going to repeat that process. Make sure you push it nice and firmly all the back in, and that the body panel pieces are sitting in a nice position still, because once the glue hardens, that's where they're going to stay. Once you've super glued all the rods, we're going to wait 5 minutes for the glue to harden, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is putting in the metal bearing, which is going to allow the dragon to spin really well. It's time to put the metal bearing on the dragon, so we're just going to take it out of this little plastic bag. The metal bearing comes in 3 parts, and this part here with the circles is what's going to go in the middle. So just pull this off and make sure that this little rivet side is facing the circles in the middle piece. Well, here we've got a little bearing sandwich. Lift the dragon right off the top of the other poles. You can put this down carefully. Take the bearing, place it right here on the top of this black pole. Take the dragon, hold the bearing secure so it doesn't fall. We're going to put the dragon back over the bearing and the black pole. Carefully slide it down. Here we go. Slide this all the way down. That bearing is going to help the dragon catch the wind and spin really well. You've officially assembled your magical wind dragon.